Some moments in history are created to be witnessed, admired, recorded, and remembered, yet other moments exist at the opposite extreme, the most dangerous moments, the moments that expose too much truth, too much violence, too much unfiltered reality. Those moments are not meant for the public eye. They are meant to be concealed, buried beneath silence, erased from memory. This is the account of one such moment. A confrontation so dangerous that only 9 individuals were permitted to observe it. A fight so severe that all official records were locked away for 4 decades. A fight so authentic that even now, many years later, those who survived it still refuse to speak about it openly. They signed documents, gave their word, swore binding oaths, because what they witnessed that day, what unfolded inside that small, private dojo, was never intended to leave those walls until now, in the early 1970s. The precise date remains classified even after 40 years. The location was a small, private training hall somewhere in Hong Kong. The kind of place that does not advertise its existence, does not display a sign, does not welcome outsiders. Entry requires connections, it requires invitation, it requires trust. This is where genuine fights take place, not tournaments, not exhibitions, not performances for cameras or crowds. These are real fights, dangerous fights. Fights that test everything a man is. On this particular day, a challenge is delivered, not openly, not officially. It travels through whispers, through trusted connections, through the underground network of martial artists who know, who understand, who still respect the old traditions. This is how challenges were once settled, before regulations, before referees, before safety measures. The old way, the dangerous way. Bruce Lee has been challenged by a fighter whose identity has never been publicly revealed. A Chinese martial artist, classically trained, hardened by traditional methods, powerful and dangerous. A man who believes Bruce has deviated too far from tradition. Someone who views Bruce's changes, his Jeet Kune Do, his philosophy of no way is way, as disrespectful, heretical, and wrong. Someone determined to prove in the most direct manner possible that the old methods remain superior. That tradition still prevails. That Bruce Lee, despite his fame, despite his innovation, despite his philosophy, is still only a man. And men can be broken. The challenge is accepted, but only under strict conditions. This fight will not be public, it will not be filmed, it will never be discussed. Only a select few will be allowed to witness it. Masters, instructors, men who understand exactly what they are about to see, men who can be trusted to remain silent. 9 witnesses, no more, each personally chosen, each sworn to secrecy. Whatever happens in this fight will remain confined to this room for 40 years. That is the agreement. 40 years of silence, only after Bruce's death, only after enough time has passed, only then might the truth be spoken. Dojo itself is small and enclosed. A wooden floor, plain walls, no decoration, no distractions, just space, just fighters, just witnesses. The 9 men arrive one by one, separately, quietly. They understand what this gathering means, they know what they are about to witness. They sit on the floor, forming a shallow semicircle approximately 6 feet from where the fight will take place. Close enough to observe every detail. Close enough to hear every breath, every strike, every sound of impact. Close enough to feel the danger in the room. Bruce arrives next. He is 32 years old, at the absolute peak of his physical condition. 140 pounds of pure lean muscle, virtually no body fat, every muscle sharply defined, every movement efficient and controlled. He wears only black training pants, no shirt, no shoes, no protective equipment. This is not a competition. This is not a demonstration. This is real. He stretches briefly, not for show, simply to prepare. His expression is calm, focused. Yet the 9 witnesses notice something in his eyes that they have never seen before. Not fear exactly, but awareness. Respect, perhaps. This fight is different. This opponent is different. This is not meant for cameras or applause. This is for truth. The opponent enters, also Chinese, also in his early 30s, slightly taller than Bruce, perhaps around 5 feet 10 inches, more heavily built, not the lean efficiency of Bruce but a traditional power frame, thick chest, strong arms, legs solid like tree trunks, years of classical training visible in his posture and stance, in the way he carries power. He wears training pants as well, shirtless, barefoot. He looks at Bruce without hatred. There is respect, but there is also purpose, a mission. He is here to defend something. He bows. Bruce bows in return, traditional respect exchanged. But both men understand that within moments that respect will be tested with blood. No referee steps forward. No one announces the start. No one explains rules because there are none. This is the old way, the pure way, the dangerous way. 2 fighters, 1 space, until one of them can no longer continue. That is the entirety of it, nothing more. They begin to circle slowly, measuring distance, reading intent, sensing energy. The witnesses remain motionless. They do not breathe, they do not shift. They understand the significance of what they are seeing. This is not sport. This is combat, real combat. The kind that ends careers, the kind that ends lives. The danger in the room is heavy, almost tangible, real. The opponent makes the first move, a traditional attack. A straight punch comes first, fast, heavy, backed by years of iron fist conditioning. Bruce barely slips it. He counters immediately to the ribs, 3 rapid punches. The opponent grunts as they land. He absorbs them. His conditioning is exceptional. Strikes that would collapse most men barely slow him. They disengage and begin to circle once more. The witnesses lean forward. This is not what they anticipated. They expected Bruce to overwhelm him, to dominate, to demonstrate superiority, to validate Jeet Kune Do. But this opponent, this traditional fighter, is real. He is dangerous. He is not intimidated. He is not defeated. He is not retreating. The opponent attacks again, a combination high-low middle traditional structure but executed with speed. Bruce blocks and deflects but not perfectly. One punch slips through and lands on Bruce's jaw, not full power but enough. Bruce's head snaps sideways. The witnesses gasp quietly but unmistakably. They have never seen this. Never seen Bruce take a clean hit, never seen him hurt. Bruce steps back, touches his jaw, tastes blood in his mouth. He looks at the opponent and something shifts in his eyes. The witnesses see it. The opponent sees it. This is no longer testing, no longer measuring. This is war. What follows is something the witnesses will never forget. Something they cannot forget even 40 years later. When a few of them eventually break their silence, when they finally tell the story, they struggle because words are insufficient. They cannot fully describe it. They cannot explain it. The violence, the speed, the danger, the reality. Bruce explodes forward, not with technique, not with philosophy, with violence, pure, direct, brutal. He strikes the opponent 7 times in 3 seconds. Fists. Elbows, knees. Every blow intended to damage, to injure, to end the fight. The opponent attempts to defend, attempts to counter. But the speed, the precision, the sheer violence overwhelm him, yet he does not fall, he does not quit. His traditional training, his years of conditioning, his iron will allow him to absorb the punishment and respond. A massive hook lands in Bruce's ribs. The sound fills the small dojo like a baseball bat striking a tree. Bruce's body folds slightly. His breath bursts out of him. He stumbles back 2 steps. The witnesses are frozen. They have never seen this, never imagined this. Bruce Lee, the legend, the innovator, the philosopher, hurt, bleeding, struggling, and the opponent, this unknown traditional fighter, still standing, still fighting, refusing to fall. This is not what anyone expected. This is not what anyone wanted to see. It is too real, too dangerous, too honest. They continue for another minute, perhaps 2. Time loses meaning. Every exchange is brutal. Every strike carries intent to finish. Bruce's face is marked, swelling visible, blood at his mouth. The opponent's ribs are shattered, his breathing strained, his movements slowing, but neither man falls. Neither quits, neither reveals weakness. Then comes the moment that will haunt the witnesses forever. The moment that will justify 40 years of silence. Bruce catches a kick and sweeps the supporting leg. The opponent crashes to the floor. Bruce drops onto him, knee pressed into his chest, elbow raised, prepared to strike down, prepared to finish, prepared to end it, and he stops. The elbow halts 6 inches from the opponent's face. Frozen. Bruce's arm trembles with the effort of restraint. His eyes are wild, filled with adrenaline, violence, and the terrifying closeness of ending another man's life. He holds that position. 3 seconds, 5, 10, his breathing ragged, his body shaking. Violence suspended at the edge of release. Then slowly he lowers his arm. He stands, he steps back, the opponent remains on the floor, breathing hard, ribs possibly broken, face untouched because Bruce stopped. He looks up at Bruce and nods, slowly, painfully, but with respect. Real respect, not the courteous respect of tournament fighters, the deep respect of warriors who have tested one another, who have gone to the edge, who have stared into the void and stepped back. Bruce extends his hand and helps the opponent to his feet. They stand facing each other, both damaged, both BL. Eating, both alive. Bruce bows deep, traditional. The opponent bows back just as deeply. And in that moment, the witnesses understand this was never about victory, never about proving one style superior to another. This was about truth, about reality, about what happens when 2 real fighters with real skill and real resolve meet without rules, without referees, without safety nets. This was about finding the limit and choosing not to cross it. No one speaks. The opponent leaves quietly. He never speaks of the fight, never claims victory, never claims defeat. He simply returns to his traditional training. His name is never revealed, his face is never shown, just another fighter who on one day tested himself against the best and survived. Bruce sits on the floor. The 9 witnesses approach. Some offer water, some offer towels. Mostly they sit with him in silence because what can be said, what words could possibly capture what they have just seen, the violence. The skill, the control, the choice, the humanity. Before they leave, Bruce asks them all to never speak of it, not after 10 years, not after 20, Only 40 years after his death, only after enough time had passed, only after the legend had fully hardened, after people had forgotten that he was human, that he bled, that he struggled, that he made a choice for mercy. Only then perhaps could the truth exist outside those walls, and they honored that promise. All 9 of them, for 40 years, some carried the secret with them into their graves. But a few now old men standing at the end of their own lives have begun to speak. Carefully, quietly, not for recognition, not for money, but because they believe that after 40 years the world deserves to understand something essential. That Bruce Lee's greatest fight was not the ones preserved on film, not the carefully choreographed battles designed for cinema, not the performances created to impress cameras and audiences. His greatest fight, his most dangerous fight, his most honest fight was the one almost no one ever saw. The one that remained hidden. The one that revealed not only his ability but his character, his humanity, his restraint, his decision to be more than violence, to be more than technique, to be more than a legend. That was the fight witnessed by only 9 people. That was the fight concealed for 40 years. That was the truth. Dangerous, real, humans,